Alrighty, so UFC Perth, UFC Fight Night 260, something like that, some fucking number like that, just took place. I'm here to give you my breakdown, takeaway from every fight, thoughts and opinions, live reaction, all that good stuff. You know the drill. This time around, I'm probably gonna try to speedrun this card as I'm gonna be honest, I thought this card was kind of fucking mid, alright? But I did do very well on my predictions. I believe I went 9-3. The final score will be at the end. So I think I killed it this card. I just got a little greedy at the end, and decided to bet on the underdog in the main event who didn't win. But we'll get to it. You know, put a 10 on it. It is what it is. But we'll get to it. Starting off the card, we have a shit break, aka a woman's fight. And if you're new to my videos, okay, you might hear my dog scratching the floor upstairs. That's all right. I live in the basement. It is what it is. If you're new to my predictions, okay, I coin flip women's fights. I don't give a fuck about them. They're not entertaining to watch. They're not really fights. They're more like sparring matches between two drunks. Actually, that would be more entertaining. They're like watching your kids scrap, you know? That's about it. I really can't take them seriously. So I coin flip Loma look boomy. I probably would have picked Loma. Nah, probably not, because Alexia beat fucking Molly McCann. And my dog is continuing to scratch the floor. What the fuck is he doing? Pissing me off. Okay, I think he stopped. Anyways, he could sense my aura. Anyways. Okay, moving on to real fights. Brendan. Oh, never mind. It's a fucking debut heavyweight fight. Brando that versus Alicia. I went with Brando. Mainly because Tapology picked, I think it was like 60% Alicia, and I just didn't agree. I don't agree with like most of Tapology's picks whenever I don't know the fighters, because a lot of people are just fucking NPCs. You know what I mean? But yeah, I went with Brando because, guys, you gotta root for the brother at the end of the day. What I will say, though, is that these are heavyweights. I did pick round 1 KO, so I got this perfect. These are heavyweights. I will say Brando looked like he knew what he was doing, and that's very rare for heavyweights. Like, when he was striking, and he, like, wobbled Alicia. Wild name for a darker skinned gentleman, but alright. But yeah, Brando wobbled him, knew he wobbled him, went in for the kill, and then when he got like a panic takedown on him, he didn't panic, and he was like pushing this guy's head down. He was doing what he needed to do to get to the finish. So I think Brando could be something, and by something I mean he might get ranked in heavyweight one day, but that's probably about his skill set so far. Like him versus another heavyweight, like him, Chris Barnett, I'm picking him. Yeah, so Brando looked okay. You know, I'll be interested to see his next fight. You know, moving on, we have a shit break. So this is where, you know, I was getting my water, made sure I have everything ready to go for the real fights. But yeah, Michelle Montag, I coin flipped and got this, so the coin went 1-1. Doesn't really affect the picks. I'll put it in the full breakdown anyways. And yeah, Luana Carolina, I mean, she just sucks. Michelle is kind of like a Timu version of that bitch who survived cancer, and she fought Zhang Wei Li, or it was, I don't, like, bro, women fights, just, like, why? I don't take them seriously, I don't care. This Michelle lady did well. She's tough. Or Luana hits like a bitch. So, I mean, yeah, it was shit. It was like an okay scrap, I guess, but it was a lot of hugging, rarely boring, and pretty clear Michelle win. Moving on, we have Colby Thickness. Real fights, thank the fucking Lord. Holy shit! Colby Thickness versus Joseus Musasa. I went with Thickness. Mainly because I think I even did decision. I might have done submission, but I went with Thickness because I know he's a better fighter in this matchup. And I was only worried about the physicality. Now, when they got in the cage, I wasn't worried at all. I was like, oh my god, this is a lock. Colby's bigger than this guy. He looks more filled in than this guy. Bro, this bantamweight looks like he belongs in featherweight. Like, that's how big fucking Colby Thickness looked, you know? He looked thick out there. However, he had a very Alex Morono performance where the whole fight, every time he got hit, it's like the next one on that limb was gonna break it. You know, the next leg kick and his leg's done. The next time he gets hit in the fucking shoulder and he's just done. Next time he gets hit in the body, he's wins into it going down to a body shot. I got worried. I was terrified, okay? But I did have a little tenner on Colby Thickness, so that paid out. But overall, it was Hosis Musasa chasing down Colby, and Colby just like circling around. Very Alex Morono, like fucking bobbing the head, gets hit, whoa. Gets hit, whoa, you know, and he got cracked a few times, but he showcased he's got, like, good toughness. He's just got a really, really bad poker face, like a horrible poker face. You can tell when he gets cracked. You can tell when, he, like, a big damaging shot just happened. You can tell when he's, like, you know, about to go down, doesn't like the pressure. Like, that's really what Colby struggles with, pressure. I think if Colby goes against, like, bantamweights that will, you know, like, Adrian Yanez. Now that I'm thinking about, like, fights like that, I think are tough matchups for Colby. Like, people who will push forward and, like, bring it to Colby, he's going to struggle with. But Colby will almost always be the better person in the fight. Striking-wise, a little ugly, but it's working somehow. His grappling, though, is really, really good, which I was kind of surprised with, because training partner with Volk, main training partner, I wasn't expecting this guy to have such good jiu-jitsu, like actual grappling, not like wrestling, take you down just for a point on the takedown, like actual get to your back, work in a submission. He almost got a sub a few times on Musasas in the first round, I want to say. Round 2 was pretty close, and then round 3, Musasas just fucked up really bad after a really bad nut shot from Colby. And he just got overzealous, he got taken down, and then he got laid on for about 3 minutes. So Colby won this in a very, like, Volkanovski way, but he looks like a bantamweight Alex Morono. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, he looks very not there. Like, he'll go for wild shit, he'll go for, like, a head kick, he'll go for, like, a spinning wheel kick or some shit. But it's just, like, he looks frail, he looks breakable. Every time he gets hit, you're like, ooh, you might go down to the next shot, you know? So, it's going to be risky betting on Colby or picking Colby and, like, more dangerous or more pressure-heavy fighters. But, good fight. Colby got it done. I thought it was clear. Moving on, we have Jamie Malarkey versus Rolando Bedoya. And, hey, Jacob from We Want Picks. Hey, may I just say, he had an impressive performance out there. Hey. And if you don't know, Jacob from We Want Picks is a great YouTube channel, and I highly recommend watching him. He's got great prediction videos, great Lock of the Week videos, and I watch his live streams time to time. So, you know, shout out to Jacob from We Want Picks. But regardless of that, you know, he looks one-to-one like Jamie Malarkey if you're outside of the joke. So I just ruined it. But anyways, good old Jakey boy here. He did really, really well in the first 2 rounds. He was whooping on Bedoya. Okay, Rolando over here. He was whooping his ass and made Rolando Bedoya look like an NPC, and he really was an NPC. He would get hit and, like, throw back and miss, and then get hit, and then throw back and miss, and then, oh, let's clinch and let me not do anything while I get hit in the clinch. But then in round 3, Jamie Malarkey did Jamie Malarkey things, and he just started trying to roleplay Max Holloway when he just ain't got the build for it, you know? He got into the pocket way too much. He was getting cracked a lot, and instantly you started to see him fucking wince and fade. And I was like, oh shit, Jamie Malarkey, not like this. Not like this. But hey, he pulled through a vintage Jamie Malarkey 29-28 decision, almost getting finished via his own dumb IQ, trying to swing in the pocket way too much when he's already got 2 rounds in the bank. So, yeah, Jamie Malarkey doesn't lose stock. I mean, he's still the same guy. Rolando Bedoya cut him. I don't think he has a fucking win in the UFC. What are we doing keeping these bums around? Like, seriously. Genuinely. Why? Why do we keep these NPCs around? Nobody knows. So, yeah, Rolando Bedoya cut him. Jamie Malarkey, I mean, wherever you thought Jamie Malarkey was, that's basically, he's still there. You know, like, he's still technically good, still pretty weak, and still pretty bullyable. If you put a bully in there with them, he'll get bitched. Cam Roston versus Andre Petrosky. I went with Andre Petrosky. And if it wasn't for Andre and the main event, I would have had a... Actually, no, I got the main event right. Oh, I know who I got wrong. If it wasn't for this fucking disgraceful performance from Andre Petrosky and one other issue we had with the referee that we'll get to, I would have had a flawless card, bar the fucking women's fights. But yeah, Andre Petrosky I picked because he is the better fighter, and he is the better fighter. I thought he got fluked, alright, against fucking, what's his name? Jacob Malkoun, where he knocked himself out via headbutting his hip. However, it turns out Andre Petrosky genuinely just doesn't have a fucking chin. And he got fucking dropped by a jab and out cold with the next strike. Yeah, this Cam guy, we don't have a lot of footage on, so I don't really know where I'm going to put a stock. Middleweight's a dog shit division. Andre Petrosky is, like, technically good, but man, did he fuck it up by getting chinned. He also looked very hesitant. He's basically Paul Craig. He's a shit Paul Craig. That's where Petrosky is, but he is technically a good fighter. It's just, he's got no fucking chin, so it's hard to pick him, and I picked him, and I was wrong. It is what it is. Fuck Andre Petrosky. Moving on. I still hate him. I shouldn't have picked him. I knew I shouldn't have picked him. Fuck Andre Petrosky. I fucking hate him. Anyways, moving on. Navajo Sterling versus Rodolfo Bellato. This was vintage Navajo Sterling. Not able to finish a fight, but works in enough to make it look like he's the better fighter everywhere. He did enough of that. He took down Rodolfo Bellato when he wanted. He outstruck Rodolfo Bellato when he wanted. He was landing the more damaging strikes. There was moments where he got cracked, but he's got a better chin than Rodolfo Bellato, so it's like, this was Navajo Sterling day, like, all day. Like, if you put a gun to my head, I would have picked Navajo Sterling as the lock of the whole card. You know what I mean? But Rodolfo Bellato showcased a good chin against a non-finisher, so, you know, there's that. But, good old Angelo from We Want Picks here. Yeah, he just got outworked for bell to bell for 5 minutes, or for 15 minutes. Like, everywhere. Like, he'd shoot a takedown, Navajo would fucking get to the clinch, reverse position. If Navajo, I think Navajo got taken down like maybe once or twice. Yeah, he got taken down twice, got back to his feet. Wasn't really in any danger outside of a few, like, big hooks and shit from good old Angelo from We Want Picks, but, you know, another great guy from the same YouTube channel as the Freckled Salamander, but, yeah, I mean, it's just a shit fight, in my opinion. It was boring. This is where, like, the card for me just, like, really was dog shit. Yeah, it just got pretty bad after this, but, yeah, this kind of stunk up the card. Navajo won. I think Navajo's gonna be like a Michael Morales, I think, you know, but for light heavyweight, where he's gonna have these decisions and he's gonna whoop people for 3 rounds. He's just not, he's gonna be lacking that X factor, and then eventually he's gonna get like a fluky KO or something on like an actual like high level dude, you know, like Alonzo Metafield. He'll finish in round 1 or some shit like that, and that'll give him the highlight reel that he needs. You know, similar to like Michael Morales, Gilbert Burns, where like Gilbert Burns just wilted to a jab. Stuff like that, you know. But Michael Morales will also take every other fighter he's ever fought to a decision. So, you know, yeah, I think Navajo's going to do well. I just think he needs... It's not even like he... Like, the thing with Navajo is that he normally looks like he doesn't want to be there. And this fight, I don't think he didn't look like he didn't want to be there. It just looked like he landed a few big shots and it's like, yeah, I'm just not finishing this guy. Let's just fucking go to war after round... Or let's just fucking get to a decision after round 1. Because he whooped Rodolfo Bellato's ass pretty bad in round 1. But yeah, moving on. Tom Nolan, Charlie Campbell. I went with Tom Nolan. I was very confident in Tom Nolan. He did get cracked early on in this round. I did bet a round 1. I had, I think, $5 on round 1 Tom Nolan. Or I think I just had round 1 in general. But yeah, Tom Nolan's a big dude, so I worry about his chin. And he does seem like he's, like, tough, but he looks chinny, you know? It's hard to explain. Like, you can be tough, but you can be chinny, you know? Like, you can get cracked easily, but, like, your body's tough, you know? Like, you're not going down to a liver shot anytime soon, but you might get shinned eventually. You know what I mean? That's kind of what Tom Nolan reminds me of, and he's still young as shit, too, if I remember correctly. I think he's, like, 25, something like that. He's pretty young, but did well in this fight. He was finding the shots on Charlie. Charlie ended up rocking him pretty bad early on in the round. And then Tom Nolan just kept on peppering with kicks. He'd get cracked, and then he'd land like 6 or 7 low kicks like right afterwards to make sure like, oh shit, I got... Like, Nolan is smart. He is smart. That's one thing I'll say. Like, these Aussies, New Zealand types, they're pretty good with their fight IQ. You know, the Steve Urseg type of... I think he's Australian, I'm pretty sure. You know, Tom Nolan, fucking Colby Thickness, you know, people like that. Like, they're really good with their IQ and their fight IQ, you know? And Tom Nolan effectively gets like a club and sub here where he rocks Charlie Campbell. Like, Nolan was landing his shots, but he's definitely getting cracked more. But he eventually cracks Charlie Campbell, get him to the cage. And I think Charlie was like going down, and as he was going down, Nolan latches up that neck, locked it in real fast towards the end of the round. And it was just like, yo, this guy's fucked. Like, Charlie's just fucked. He's gonna have to tap, and he taps. And Nolan gets the submission. So, sick win from Nolan. And then it was a lot of ads. And then we move on to Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. I did say I will most likely be rooting for Neil Magny. I like Neil Magny, man. All right? I like people who might have, you know, a criminal past or whatever, but, you know, they're trying to change their life around, you know. Good guy, trying to be a father to his kid, get custody, you know, with his kid. But I really did think Jake Matthews was going to win this. I respect Neil Magny, and I thought, like, the odds were pretty justified. You know, I might have said, like, Neil Magny's a bit too much of a dog or something like that. And I was so close to betting this live in round 2. But I'll break it down round by round. But this fight did piss me off. Nothing to do with Magny. I'm happy for Magny, man. Magny got it done. He's probably getting... That's probably, like, what? $250,000 to show, maybe? So he probably got $500,000 or some shit like that. He's got second most wins, I think, in UFC history. Great fucking guy, Neil Magny, eh? You know? And a lot of people shit on Magny. Bro, Magny's good, man. Like, you have to be... I think if Jake Matthews and Neil Magny fought out of 10 times, Magny only wins 1 time, and this was that 1 time, and I'll get to why. But Magny is good. He's still got pop at his old age, at like 40 years old. He's still got the ability to wrestle, grapple, and finish you. Like, that's a lot. Like, a lot of people are like, Neil Magny sucks. This guy just gets finished. Yeah, but doesn't that mean you kind of have to finish him? You know? Like, I don't know, man. To me, every time I see Magny out there, it's like, he uses his range well. He's really good at getting people to play his game. He might not always have the best IQ, but, bro, he's got good takedown defense. He's got great striking offense. Not really great defense on the striking. He does get cracked quite a bit, but yeah, round 1, Jake Matthews is trying to find the range. Neil Magny's popping out that jab, landing some good shots. Jake Matthews kind of lands a few big shots on Magny, but nothing like cracked him, nothing that obviously wobbled him or anything. You know, some of those probably hurt, and he got like stumbled to the cage, but that was just him going backwards. And then towards the end of the round, Jake Matthews ends up getting on top, I think he gets taken down, and then he uses a guillotine to effectively get to top position. And while he's going for the guillotine, it looked like I will say, this is gonna piss me off. Magny did look like he was out. He did, and I know like he wasn't out. And we can all say, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, he was clearly not out. When you see Magny, eyes close, his neck getting fucking yanked near the end of the round, and his arm go limp with no response, no thumbs up, no nothing, that looks like an unconscious human. I'm sorry. So the ref calling it right then and there at the final like 3 seconds of round 1. That would have been a Jake Matthews round 1 sub. I wouldn't have complained, okay? I like Magny. I think that would have been justified. This retard of a ref decides to be like, nope, fight's still on. He knew he fucked up. He called it 3 seconds before the bell. He called the fight. I'm pretty sure he said he's out, getting Jake off. And then the bell sung. Neil Magny pops up and he's like, bro, I wasn't out. They sit down on their stool, and he's like, fight's still on, fight's still on. You just said he was out, and rule, like, you can't do that. You, like, if you're gonna make a bad call, at least commit to the bad call. This is what, we need to remove these refs, bro. We need a new generation of refs. These refs are fucking retarded. All of them. Herb Dean, Mark Goddard. I don't give a fuck how many times they've been on Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't care how many fucking events they've done. I don't care their experience. They are shit at their job. They have no idea what they're doing, and they crack under peer pressure. Like, I've never seen worse refs. Like, okay, I have seen worse refs in boxing. A lot of rigged fights there and everything like that. But holy shit, man. Like, we really need between the judges fucking people over in terms of the way they score fights and the refs just being brain dead retarded. Oh, I poked them the 4th time in a row and I said I'll take a point. Yeah, I'm just not going to take a point. Ruins that fucking fight against Kyle Mavov, you know? Like, there's so many fucking times these refs just keep on getting away with bullshit. But regardless, we go on to round 2, and this is where I think it's the 1 out of 10 that Neil Magny wins. Jake probably was like, yeah, I won, let's go, and he's getting hype, adrenaline dump. Round 2, he's doing really well, and he's whooping Neil Magny's ass, but Neil Magny isn't tapping his subs. You know, he's getting back to positions. He's able to escape through bottom. At one point, like Jake Matthews had like a fucking arm triangle set up in full mount. It was, you know, Jake Matthews was putting on a clinic on Neil Magny. It was a very clear 2-0 Jake Matthews by the end of round 2. And Magny was still landing shots. And literally, when Jake Matthews had Neil Magny locked in that submission, I think it was a rear naked towards the end of round 2, I was like, bro, if Neil Magny survives this, Jake Matthews is gonna get fucked in round 3. And I was so close to betting it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get greedy. I'm just an average dude who goes to work and, you know, watches UFC on the weekends. You know, I'm not gonna get too greedy, you know, putting $10 on a plus 1,100. I'm not that guy. Turns out I am that fucking guy, apparently. And I would have called it perfectly had I bet that. But Neil Magny comes in round 3. Jake Matthews looks tired. He looks slow. He looks like he's not ready to defend. And Neil Magny's got pop. He's been here before. This is what he does. This is his round. Bro, GM3 in round 3. Buddy, we need Neil Magny round 3. To be the new fucking mythical fighter, bro. Neil Magny in round 3 is a demon. He did it to Mike Malott. He did it to Jake Matthews. There's another guy he did it to. I can't remember. But, yeah. To beat Neil Magny, you have to be really, really fucking good. Or apparently a flawless prospect. The only ones that have beat Neil Magny recently are who? Michael Morales? Who hasn't got a fucking loss. And what was the other one? Ian Gary? And everybody else gets fraud checked. Neil Magny's the fucking gatekeeping goat. I'll say it. Anyways, yeah. W Neil Magny, though. I'm excited for Neil Magny. He can take whatever the fucking fight he wants, you know? He's pretty active, too. You know, this guy is like what Kevin Holland should... Like, if I'm Kevin Holland, I'm looking at Neil Magny like, this is the guy I want to be when I grow up. You know? Like, a great gatekeeper, fraud check, consistent, fights... consistently. People rag on Neil Magny so he was a plus 300 closing odds. Like, when are people gonna learn, bro? And I think I said that in my breakdown. When are people gonna learn Neil Magny's good? Fuck, man, I should have picked Neil Magny, bro. I saw it. I could have seen it. Anyways, moving on. Jack fucking Jenkins versus Ramon Taveras. I went Jack Jenkins. Ramon Taveras is just an NPC. Nobody gives a fuck about this guy. I think he's winless in the UFC. He had to fight twice in the Ultimate Fighter to win. His best credit, I guess, is the Canadian fighter he knocked out or beat via a robbery split decision. In my opinion, this guy's winless in the UFC. Get this guy the fuck out. He's a punching bag. There's moments where he cracked Jack. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Ramon Taveras fucking sucks. Get him out of the UFC. Jack Jenkins, pretty good, you know? Almost got a sub in round 3. Round 1 and 2, he put on a pretty good striking masterclass, I'd say, on Ramon Taveras. He cracked him a lot. But it was very much like a James Lontop, Mauricio Huffy situation, where it's just like, yeah, Lontop's just not going to get finished. Like, it's just not going to happen. you know? So, Ramon Tavares is just a punching bag. Get him out of the UFC. Moving on, we have Jimmy the Brute Crute versus Ivan Ersland. I went with Jimmy Crute. I think this is my first time ever picking Jimmy Crute, and it's for good reason. This guy fucking blows. His IQ looked questionable as he shot a takedown and ended up on bottom in one position. But Ivan Ersland doesn't know what a takedown is, so he ended up getting reversed after reversing. So, you know, that happened, and that resulted in Ivan getting subbed. Ivan's just an NPC. Like, he's literally... When you load up Ark Survival Evolved, Ivan Ersland is your generic, like, that's the base character you start as, you know? He's just an NPC, you know? He's a Bob on the beach. Quite literally. So, yeah, he got finished like one. This guy fucking sucks. I don't know if I had Jimmy Crute sub. I might have done Jimmy Crute via decision or some shit like that, but, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Crute's, like, grappling is alright. His IQ's bad, but his skill's good, if that makes sense. You know, like, if you shoot a takedown on him, he'll probably guillotine you type of fighter, you know? Yeah. And Jimmy Crute's big, I guess. You know, that's something at light heavyweight. But the Jimmy Crute resurgence, I guess, starts now. Anyways, we move on to the main event, where everyone's pissed off, because our boy Dominic Reyes. I called Carlos Ulberg. I picked Carlos Ulberg. I went with decision just because I didn't want to see this. But as the fight started, I knew. I saw it. I saw it. Our boy Dominic Reyes got slept. We got slept by Carlos Ulberg. And we still beat Jon Jones. Therefore, Carlos Ulberg arguably beats Jon Jones. If there's anything we've learned, it's how dog shit is Jon Jones to lose to Dominic Reyes. Am I right, guys? How dog shit is Jon Jones? This guy lost to a guy who just got smoked by Carlos Ulberg. Carlos Ulberg's best win is arguably the robbery decision over a 45-year-old man. You know, come on. Come on, guys. You know, Ulberg arguably beats Jon Jones. You know, how dog shit is Jon Jones really? You know, Dominic Reyes is the guy who beat him. We might have got slept by Ulberg, but we still hold a win over Jon Jones, the wife-beating cunt. So, yeah, we got it done. We got slept. We didn't get it done. But Ulberg had the highlight of his career, probably the best win he'll ever get in his career, and he's next in line for the belt. I mean, who else was there? Wow, light heavyweight is shit, huh? Khalil Roundtree Yuri? Yeah, because Ankalev's probably not going to fight till, what, next October? Or not October coming, but the one after that, so we gotta wait till the next Abu Dhabi card, right? So, you know, Yuri could probably beat two guys by then. Yuri could probably do Ulberg after that as well for a #1 contender. If Yuri beats Khalil, obviously. Or, sorry, when Yuri beats Khalil. But Carlos Ulberg and Dominic... I mean, this was a... There's not much to break down. They stared at each other. Dominic Reyes landed like an inside low kick. And then Ulberg, like, tap, tap. Look at you, look at you, look at you. Oh, a minute just went by. Jab. Look at you, look at you, look at you. Oh, he landed a nice right hand. 3 minutes later, nothing happened. You know, it was fucking boring. And then Dominic Reyes just like, yo, I need to get in there. And he gets smoked. And that's really what I was worried about, you know. Dominic Reyes, this fight, I think I broke it down I was just like, this comes down to, like, if Dominic Reyes wants to get risky. And how well he does being risky, you know? Because if Dominic Reyes isn't risky, he loses this fight via decision. Ulberg is just going to tappy low kick, run away. But Dominic Reyes was getting frustrated, and he ran into a right hand. Or it was a left hand, either or. He got put down, basically, in one strike. Yeah, Ulberg got smoked. We lost our biblical moment. Our biblical rise has ended, but it is what it is. Yeah, I put $10 on Dominic Reyes. Bro, you're giving me Dominic Reyes at like plus 300 on the year where the underdogs are the most prevalent while you have Dominic Reyes on a rise. I'm not gonna sprinkle a little bit, you know, so I don't feel guilty about it. Technically I'm up the card if I include all my bets, but I'm not really betting for money. I kind of just do it for the fucking dopamine. But yeah, so Dominic Reyes, I think. What do we do with Dominic Reyes? If I'm Dominic Reyes, I'm genuinely retiring. You could do Dominic Reyes Rakic, though. I don't like that for Reyes, but that's a winnable matchup. You could do Volkan Ozdemir. You could do Alonzo Menifield. You know, you could do... honestly, Johnny Walker, Dominic Reyes might be the next go. Because Johnny Walker could probably build off that. He does deserve like a step up now that he beat Ming Yang Zhang. Yeah, to be honest, I don't mind a Johnny Walker, Dominic Reyes. I think that's the fight to make. Yeah, I think that's a good fight to make. That'd be an interesting one. You'd have like the battle of the You have the guy who beat Jon Jones, and then you have the guy who was said to be able to beat Jon Jones and Johnny Walker. So, you know, that's an interesting one. You know, they're both from roughly the same era as well in terms of like career. So I think that's an interesting fight to make if Johnny Walker stays a light heavyweight. With Carlos Ulberg, obviously you either do #1 contender with the winner of Yuri Khalil, or you do give him a title shot whenever they do Abu Dhabi in fucking April or some shit like that. Or is that Ramadan? I don't fucking know. I don't care. Regardless, Ulberg won. Best highlight of his career. Blockhead. I don't know why everyone says this guy looks handsome. Am I crazy? This guy just looks like... He looks like the Blockhead meme. You know that guy who's compared to like Steve in memes? He literally looks like a blockhead. The definition of a blockhead. I don't get it. But I'm not gay, so that could be why I don't find him attractive, but maybe I'm off. I don't know. Regardless, was it a good event? UFC Perth, it was aight. It was aight. I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Wasn't that great, I guess, but I had fun watching the fights, betting on the fights. We tune in to UFC 320. Let's go. Finally a good UFC card. Hey, let's go, boys. Hey, we got Yusuf Zalal, Josh Emmett, Yuri Proska, Khalil. Oh my god, that's happening. Yeah, you definitely do the winner of this versus Carlos Ulberg, now that I'm thinking about it. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, now that has me interested. Anyways, that has been my breakdown for the whole card. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I want to thank you for watching, and as always, hope you have a good day.